Hi there, it's Murray Smith from the Icebreaker. In this video you'll uncover the potential impact of the contamination of any investment property by methamphetamine drugs and the drug commonly called ice. This is important because in one day, without the owner's knowledge, an investment property can become completely contaminated and need a substantial renovation repair. Because meth or ice contamination cannot be cleaned or removed by normal cleaning methods, and the owner won't know about it. And managing your investment property for consistent financial return should be stress-free with minimal risk, not unpredictable with a potentially devastating financial trauma. You may not be aware of the growing risk rental owners are facing. We certainly were not. We were totally ignorant. Use of methamphetamines, commonly called ice, by tenants can become a huge risk to your property, your investment income, and the health of anyone who enters a contaminated house. How? Well, it's really important to understand this because it can wipe out the return on your investment property in one day. And you're thinking, well, maybe that's got to be an exaggeration. Well, it's not. If your tenant smokes ice or invites guests to the house and they smoke ice, you immediately have a contaminated house because the effects are not like smoking normal tobacco, cigarettes, or other substances. It's that simple. It can happen in 1 hour, not even one day. And if your tenants make or smoke ice consistently, contamination will be extensive. And so starts an incredibly stressful, overwhelming journey, leaving investment property owners in a state of shock, wondering how on earth they'll recover financially, especially if they have a mortgage on their investment property. All of a sudden, there's no way of making the repayments, and most people never use. Yet most people never use heavy illicit drugs in their life, and they can't see the problem as. They can't see the ice problem. Where is it? Immediately you're thinking something like, I haven't heard much about this, or it can't be too big a risk, or more people would be talking about it. You might also be thinking it's not a big risk if hundreds and thousands of rental property owners have not faced it and had their property damaged. Well, it's a big risk like a fire, or a tree through your roof, or some other major damage, and we all insure against them. Only a small percentage of property investors reading this, or hearing this rather, have experienced a major house fire. Yet we all insure against it because the loss can be catastrophic. So will you gamble your... What happens... hang on, Brian. What happens when you gamble your property income by just hoping ice damage won't happen to you? Well, let's look at an example. A property owner approves new tenants who are a young couple with a child and have good references from past landlords. They moved into the property, and unknown to the landlord or property manager, they are regular smokers of the drug ice. They actually make it over a portable stove in the garage and have a bedroom dedicated to smoking it. They know the damage ice vapors cause to properties, but they also know most landlords don't have a clue and are fairly confident they'll get away with it. Additionally, property managers rarely mention it or arrange a meth test. So the property is substantially contaminated and can become a problem for future tenants, not to mention the trauma the property owner might face, both financially and emotionally. What about another example? A family of 4 is upsizing and decides to buy a large property in a new area. They do their research and choose the property. They move in, and after about 2 months, one of the children begins to feel ill and develops a slight skin problem. It's nothing specific. Their local doctor cannot find anything, and they suggest the family keep an eye on the child. After another 6 weeks, the child occasionally vomits for no apparent reason. After months of trauma and visiting various specialists, one doctor suggests the problem might be meth contamination of their new house. The family has never heard of this and actually thinks it's rather ridiculous. However, they do further research and after again speaking to the specialist, arrange a meth test. It proves to be strongly positive, and now the family has a major problem. They have to move out and arrange restitution of the property, and additionally they have to destroy all their clothes and any soft furnishings. The husband consults a lawyer who, after investigation, uncovers the fact it was previously a rental property. The previous owners had not tested for the presence of meth or ice. The family institutes legal action against the previous owners for selling a meth-contaminated property which severely affected the health of their children. So just imagine the trauma the previous investment property owner will now face with court action and potential major damages to be paid. So if the actions of irresponsible tenants like this means the frequency of meth contaminated properties coming into the market is increasing, current investment property owners may not be aware that meth or ice use in the house can create the trauma that we've talked about. Equally so, property owners who keep the property long term and have regular turnover tenants face the unknown risk with every new tenant that the drug ice may be smoked, with every new tenant that they may smoke the drug ice in their house. I just want to pause at this point and just be a bit transparent and stay, we're very aware that this can appear like fear-mongering in the minds of landlords and property owners, and that's what we're trying to do. All I can say is we're property owners and we've looked at this and faced the risk of this occurring in our own properties. Additionally, Brian Crawford, who is the exclusive distributor of the Icebreaker in Australia, has faced the trauma of meth use in his family, and he's actually seen that person go to jail. So it's very real. The risk is real and it's increasing, and using these examples is not fear-mongering, it's just plain fact, unfortunately. So contaminated investment properties can cost tens of thousands of dollars to repair and be out of action for months with no rental income. So if you are an investment property owner, imagine discovering your property is meth or ice contaminated, requires substantial repairs and can't be rented for at least 4 months. So let's say the repairs are as low as $30,000. Lost rental of say $500 per week for 18 weeks, that's $9,000, that's $39,000 loss. Plus insurance excess of maybe $2,500, and there's no guarantee insurance will cover it, plus the time and trauma of arranging repairs and supervising the work. Worse still, there may be the additional trauma of the new tenants who become ill suing you for damages. It's not a pretty picture. And far from fear-mongering, the Icebreaker detection device is a solution which can give the peace of mind and security to property owners by eliminating the risk of meth contamination. If you would like to know the exact details of how to buy the Icebreaker, what's involved, and have the opportunity to discuss all your questions and find answers to all your objections, we welcome all the challenges you can dish out. We're not some slick marketing operation. We're ordinary Aussie guys with a business to help investment property owners. That's our primary concern, to help investment property owners so they have peace of mind and continuing confidence of financial returns that the investment property was planned to do. So if you'd like to book a call with us, go to our website, theicebreaker.com.au. That's the 3 words, the icebreaker, with a hyphen between each word. Then go to the bottom of the page and you can book a call at a time that suits you. That's theicebreaker.com.au with hyphens. We hope this information is helpful, and we look forward to hearing your story about your investment property.